Today I will be hand making my second Turkish drop spindle. This was my first attempt at a Turkish spindle. It doesn't spin for very long, and it's kind of heavy for what I'm looking for. So my next attempt is hopefully going to be slightly lighter in weight. And it's not just about the weight, but there's a lot that I thought more about in this design compared to the first. I start by marking and cutting the shaft blank to length. Next, I mark out and rip the arms from this black walnut plank. At this stage, I'm making everything larger in basically every dimension to give myself clearance for the coming steps. Here, I mark out a nice straight line in reference to the nice straight edge left on this black walnut board. Perfect to give me a reference for making this coming cut. do a whole bunch of layout work to ensure that I sculpt these arms equally and even. I'm also going to try to split each arm blank down closer to the dimension that I need it. If I'm not careful, the end result will be way too wobbly for efficient spin. Now it's time to not mess up one of the first steps. That split was not ideal. And for some reason, my side flashlight is on. This is exactly what I should have been doing from the start. And if you've never seen a shave horse and a draw knife, this is where the rough shaping occurs. Totally can do fine work on a shave horse, it's just not normally what I use it for. Gave my draw knife a good once over with the strop, and now we start with the shaft. Just gonna work in a slight taper to the tip, just to kind of suggest the shape at this point. Oops. I'm constantly turning 90 degrees to try and stay even on each side, similar to my nail binding needles in the previous video. If you are interested in learning what nail binding videos, or just interested in nail binding in general, here's a full playlist of all my nail binding related videos. I'm working down to the split line that I wasn't able to get very clean when splitting. I should probably look into different ways of holding small work pieces like this on my shave horse because it doesn't like to hold it very well. Now I must drill the through holes, and this is the method I used the first attempt at a Turkish spindle. I don't think it's the best technique. If anyone has suggestions, I have a couple other methods I'm gonna try, but I was just trying to get the hole placement equidistant on both pieces, and this is kind of just what I thought. Using my high-speed steel drill bit on my not-so-high-speed hand drill. I totally at first thought that this failed horribly, but really it was just the split that made the hole on one of them look much closer to one side than the other. just drawing in the correct profile. Back on the shave horse, bringing that aforementioned profile to life. Now, of course, for the carving. Starting by trying to further correct the mistake made earlier when splitting. Throughout carving, I'll be weighing each of these to try to ensure that they stay the same weight, or to get one to be the same weight as the other. mimicking the weight that will be taken off the other arm in the upcoming step. I'll use the other arm to reference the gap. And then try to chisel down a third of the thickness. This will help the arms lock together more securely when spinning. Some people over the past week have been worried about the thickness that this had gotten to, but with the strength of black walnut and the forces that are being applied when spinning, I really don't think it's going to be a problem. Now to no longer neglect the shaft. This part isn't easy, and for this one in particular, I'm going much thinner than I've ever gone, so I am slightly nervous. And again here, I am carving and rotating and carving and rotating. This is to maintain that even taper all the way down. Here I start testing to see if I like how it's fitting. I think it still needs a few adjustments. One of those adjustments is adding a chamfer to one of the arm's holes. This allows one of the arms to still grip onto the shaft, but higher than the other. starting to like how it spins more and more. This step was incredibly daunting, and it failed, because I did not do a hook. I ended up doing a point. It was just easier, and I messed up the hook. It just sliced right through because it was so thin. And now for the absolute final finishing touches to all the parts, giving them a coat of natural mineral oil, and obviously breaking all the edges to be nice and smooth. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see this spindle all finished, I have many shorts posted on many steps of the process and it completed, so feel free to take a look at those. I also have an ASMR version of this exact video, so if you're interested in that, go over and take a look at that. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Happy making!